Welcome in, traders. So today we have um, Tesla right here on the weekly, and really the motive of my video, or the reason for my video, is I wanted to pull out this pattern. I wanted to show this pattern right here in real time. No, it's a nice pattern. I love to trade it. This is really what I was, I've been saying that there's always a potential retest, and depending how you look at it, on what time frame was going to see. Now, my thinking was that we may hold here at 250 initially and bounce up a little bit for the 5, but eventually get down. It was always like, are we going to bounce up just to get down, or are we going to bulldoze through and still, hang around here for a little longer? Now, the reason I was saying that is because of this pattern. So let's go through it real quick and the rules to it and what may invalidate the pattern as well as what may confirm the pattern, right? So as far as the invalidation, let's start with that. Right now we have a retest just like we have right here. We had a breakout to new highs, and then we have the retest. Now, what could invalidate the pattern? Well, there's two real levels to observe here. The last swing low, and of course a breakdown of the trend line, marked in blue right here. So the last swing low and the breakdown of the trend line, you can put your, like if you were taking a trade based on this pattern alone, which I'm not advocating for, but if you were, this would be your risk right here. Dropping under there, it's pretty much all doom until you get down here to 100, to that 100, 120, 100. Now, if it were to hold, then that's a whole different story. You're looking at confirmation upon breakout. So the confirmation would not come until you cross that 488, 490, and that's the confirmation, and that can lead to the target that would equal to either the biggest part, the height of the pattern, which is from higher high to higher low. I mean, yeah, right there, higher high to higher low, and that would lead us all the way into 2000. Now, keep in mind, Elon gave us a projection. He said 3,300 will be the price of Tesla in 5 years. Will it happen? We don't know. It could happen. I mean, there's enough things in the pipeline that could get us there, right? If the robo taxi is a hit, I mean, if they get government contracts, if they replace city buses, I mean, there's so much that can happen on that side of things, right? Replace all those gas guzzlers with efficient EV vehicles. That's something that isn't talked about a lot, but the U.S. Department of Transportation for the general public can certainly benefit from that. So is a 3,300 target based on what the products that are currently available or soon to be available possible? I think yes. Will it happen is another question. We're not even there yet. We won't know for a while. So I don't want to, get my hopes and dreams up about that. But if we're looking out to the horizon, are the mechanisms, are the potential there? Yeah, I think so. Now, I have a different perspective, and we'll go through that in a second. Now, if we want to be a little bit more conservative, and we want to take the height of the pattern based on this from low to high, then it's something more in the $1,500 range, which I still think is pretty lofty, right? So, according to the rules, I want to point out are very loose rules in trading. There is rarely anything that's 100% textbook. Very rare. But just to give us guidance, and we'll figure it out once we get closer, if we ever do, is those areas, right? Based on either from here or from here. Me personally, and I'll share this now, my what I've learned about this pattern in particular is when we do get something like this, I would say conservatively we can see 600. If this becomes bullish, where it would be like a 600 fake out and then come down, or we can see 750 and stay around 600 and never come past 600 until we complete it around 1,000. Something like that can happen, right? But again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, and I do want to uh, just make clear that this would be a higher time frame perspective, so it wouldn't happen in a daily or weekly or anything like that. It's going to take months on end. Okay, so now what can invalidate the pattern again? Just to reiterate it because it's that important. down under here. And if we look at the daily, I feel the daily even illustrates it a little bit more clearly. We have yet to completely do a retest, right? We have not hit there yet, although it's not uncommon. There's a lot of you can go back in history in various charts and see, even on various time frames, that it can come down just short of it and then take off. Right. But I think when we combine it with wave counts, we're probably looking at 1, 2. This is a nasty 3, and we might get 4. And then there is gaps at 211 and 202 still. And yet the midway point or the last swing low is around here. So can we get just over it? Sure. We can come down there, 285, to complete the fifth wave. We may just hit there and curl right back down. It's always a possibility. All right. But yeah, that's my outlook. Now there's one bullish case that could happen. We have literally 3 days and 2 hours to make that happen. And it would have to cross that midpoint right there, that equilibrium at 289, 290 really. So if for whatever reason the week closes above 290 and we have a full-on rejection, then it's really up to the Fed to either make or break it. Because at that point it still would not be confirmed. We can have a nice little rejection and then see another drop again. It would not be confirmed unless the following week or the following 2 weeks would engulf the previous red. Right, so we're still far from that. This is hypothetical, more bullish, kind of fun way to think about things. If CPI comes in good and PPI comes in good, then there might be a case for a run up. But yeah, obviously still completely under pressure until we're above 82. And even then, we're going to run into some pretty, the downside momentum and psychological level of 307 is probably going to be that much more important. And surpassing that and holding above that will be key to anything higher. Right. So even if we get a nice recovery, there's just nothing's going to matter as far as how, like, going higher unless we can hold above here. That midpoint on the daily is going to be huge further out. When it comes to hard data, we're not going to hear anything for Tesla until probably the first week of April when we get some of those delivery numbers for March. So stay tuned for that for sure. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the pattern. I personally love it. Let me know. Do you guys ever trade this pattern? Have you guys found success with this pattern, or not? And do you guys think this is just way off or no? Let me know. And best of luck. Happy trading. We'll take a look at things tomorrow after the CPI. I'll probably do an update on but just in chart form, just to highlight some levels and things like that, depending on what the data is. So keep in mind the risk to this. There's still risk. The midpoint for me, but usually the last swing low, and the other risk besides that is falling under this trend line. So there's still significant risk. Nothing's ever easy in this market. But yeah, happy trading.